Hi, welcome to Hatha Yoga. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Thanks for joining me today. Just want to remind you that if you're liking the classes the studio is putting out, don't forget to go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's lots of great teachers volunteering their time to bring you lots of great classes, so be sure to check it out. So make sure you're comfortable. I think we'll start sitting up today, but as always, if you prefer lying down, then you can lie down. So just set your coffee down. Grab your most comfortable seated position, place your hands on your knees or in your lap, and just take a really big, long, deep breath in, and a long, loud letting go exhale. Your eyes can be open or closed, but just take a moment, let all the activities of the morning drift away, whatever they might be. Let your mind connect with your breath. Just pause for a moment in gratitude for your breath, remembering that breath is our connection to life. And without breath, there isn't life. Don't force the breath, but attempting to breathe mindfully. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. The mind rides the waves of the breath, just preparing for the class that lies ahead. Allowing your awareness to begin to return and some gentle movement to come into the body. Just letting the chin roll from side to side across the collarbones. Remember to keep the length in your spine. Increase the movement in your neck if it's a day that you know you can safely and comfortably. Maybe moving the chin from shoulder to shoulder. And then perhaps even from the shoulder, extending the chin up to the ceiling, back down across to the other side, connecting your movement to your breath. And then bring the chin back to the center. Lift the head up. Take a big, deep breath in. Lift the arms as high as you can. Tighten everything tight. And then exhale, just let the arms fall down. Roll the shoulders back a few times, forward a few times. Put a nice big smile on your face. Pause, bring the shoulders right up into your ears, but sit up right from the base of the spine, and then drop those shoulders down. Take a look at your legs. If they're crossed, see which one's in front. Stretch your legs out, bounce them out. And then recross your legs, crossing the other leg in front. But, if it's not comfortable, keep your legs stretched out. Honestly, I've been doing yoga for over 35 years. And the one thing that's been the hardest is to really listen to what I need and not what somebody else is telling me. So just try to tune into what you need this morning. Walk the fingertips out. Rotate the shoulders so the palms face up. And take a long, deep breath in, lifting the arms as high as you can comfortably. Lift the gaze. And as you exhale, lower the arms, keeping the palms facing up. Drop the chin right down to the hollow of the throat. And another breath in, lifting arms, lifting gaze, lengthening the spine, creating space between the ribs. And exhaling a little longer than you inhaled as you sit taller. Tuck the chin right towards the hollow of the throat, engaging that Jalandhara Bandha, that chin lock. 2 more times, inhaling. Keep the natural curve of the neck so you're not trying to compress it as you look up. Exhaling, lower down, spine remains long, you're not rounding. Chin lock stimulates the thyroid and the throat chakra. 1 more time in each direction, lengthening, 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 and exhale. So while the arms are going down, they're also extending out. Feel all those muscles working. Pause, lift the gaze up, and release, roll the shoulders out. Seal the palms together, rest the thumbs on the sternum, and have the fingertips parallel to the bottom of your nose. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, Start to twist to the right. Twist as far right as you can. Keep the weight even on both glutes. And now take your hands and slide your thumbs over to your right armpit and look all the way back towards your right elbow. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Bring the thumbs back to the center of the chest. Bring the head in line with the fingertips. Come back to the center. Sit up tall. Twist left. Keep breathing. Pause. Don't rush to get to where you're going. Move the thumbs towards the left armpit. And then turn the head and look all the way back to the left elbow. Keep the weight even on everything connected to the floor. Try to keep your chin parallel to the floor. Bring the thumbs back to the center of the chest. Bring the nose above the fingertips. Come forward. Lift the arms, lift the arms, lift the arms. Keep the palms together as long as you can. And then lower the thumbs back to the center of the chest. A breath in. Think about the thumbs lifting your spine nice and tall. Twist all the way to the right. Slide the thumbs to the armpit. Turn the head to look all the way back, even beyond that right elbow if you can. Try not to drop the chin. Bring the head and the thumbs back to the center. Move the body to the center. Your next exhalation, twist you left. Thumbs slide to the armpit. Head turns all the way back to that left elbow, chin parallel to the floor. Look out of the corners of the eyes. Try not to lean back. Thumbs back to center of chest. Head back. Torso back to the center. Lift the arms. Pressing into the palms, moving the shoulders apart. Lift, lift, lift. Good. And then lower the hands down. Roll the shoulders out and forward. Bring the knees up, stretch the legs out, bounce them out. Cross your left leg over your right. Bend both knees. So from the side, it looks like this. You may need to sit up on something. And take the body forward. Drop the shoulders down. Good. Bring yourself up a little bit. Either repeat that same thing or press that heel out a little farther and take the body a little farther forward. Breathing. Breathing. If it doesn't hurt the neck and shoulders, lift the arms to shoulder height. Keep the arms at shoulder height. Strength of the legs brings you up. Repeat the first or second one, or straighten the legs and take the body forward. Flex both feet. Keep the arms at shoulder height. Bring yourself all the way up. Lower the hands down. Uncross the legs. Bounce it out. Other leg comes over. Both knees bend. Readjust through the glutes. Torso dips towards the thighs, which might mean you need to walk that bottom back. Remember, it's about getting the hips lifted and the torso tilting. Good. Breathe here. Bring yourself back up. Slide that bottom heel a little farther so it's as though the heel pulls towards the glutes. The torso draws towards the thighs. The shoulders move apart. Both feet are flexed. Space between all 10 of the toes. Bring yourself back up. Arms may be at shoulder height. Body might fold all the way forward with legs straight. All 10 toes spread. And keeping the arms at shoulder height, bring yourself all the way up. Lower the arms down, uncross the legs, and bounce it out. Rock it out. Adjust the glutes. Keep your left leg straight. Put your right foot sole on the floor and lift up as high as you can. A nice straight spine. Try to lift that foot sole off the floor. Then extend the leg, extend the arms. Other leg comes up, interlace the fingers the opposite way. Sit tall. Many of you have done this in a class on your back. And then release and extend. This time, if you can, Draw the leg in, then use the hands to lengthen and extend out. Other side, coming up, pause, lengthen, and release. One more time on each side, coming in, drawing up, breathe, breathe, nice tall spine. Now extend the leg out, sit up tall and hold the leg up. Try not to let the foot turn out. Good, take it down. Other leg comes up. Last time, breathe, smile, don't lean back. I see a whole bunch of you leaning back, sit up tall. Bend that leg if you need to. Interlace, sit up tall, get the thigh into the chest, and then extend the leg out. Don't lean back, breathe. Good, lower down, bring the arms out to a T, bend the knees as though the heels are pulling to the hips, get ribs moving to thighs, clasp your feet if you can, if not, hold what you can or put your hands on the floor and come into that full forward fold. Breathe in. Good, bring yourself all the way up, roll the shoulders out, bounce it out, rock it out, point and flex your feet. So jiggle yourself like a bowl of jelly. Keep the left leg straight and bend the right knee. The right hand holds the right ankle. And you're dropping the knee towards the floor, trying to get all 5 of the toes on the ground. And then bring it back up. So from the front, just here and here. Now you can see I'm really leaning to get the foot on the floor, which if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. Some of you may need to bend that left knee, or you may prefer to bend that left knee. Good. Keep breathing. Back from the side view again. Just working into those joints. What is your hip movement? Now, if you are able to keep the leg down, keep the leg down. Sit up nice and tall. If you can bend the left knee and put the foot on the floor, interlace your hands behind the thigh, do that. Keep breathing. Some of you may be able to lift the toes up, and some of you may actually be able to lift the leg up and extend through the toes. Elbows are in close, so kind of like those chaturanga arms. If you do, foot flex, heel down, lift tall, straighten the leg, right hand comes to right ankle, so you're keeping the movement in the hip. Put the foot on the floor, stretch the leg out, and fold the body, whatever forward is for you. Just rock it out, bounce it out, and bring yourself up. Roll the shoulders out. So come to the other side, putting the foot on the floor, and then dropping out. Dropping in, dropping out. Notice the tendency is to not get all 5 toes on the ground. Perhaps you can even roll the calf out. If there's pain in the knee, you may need to modify and just move the foot out slightly. Work with your breath. Be aware of your foundation. Are you heavily rolling? And if you are, what could you do to create some stability? Pause down if you can. Roll the calf out. Readjust. You may need to sit up on a little blanket. Bend that straight leg. Hold the back of the thigh and sit up nice and tall. And you may start with the foot so flat like we did last time. You may come to the heel. Some of you will lift the leg up, drawing thigh into chest, so almost like a happy baby. And some of you will be able to extend. Press that toe mound forward so you're not externally rotating the leg. Draw the shoulders down. If it doesn't feel like work, remember, perhaps you're just hanging out in your flexibility. And then the heel comes down. The foot comes down. The leg begins to straighten all the way or partially. You hold on, same hand, same ankle, put the foot on the floor, stretch the leg out, tip torso towards thighs, and fold forward. Walk the bottom out a step or 2. Good. Draw those shoulders back. You may hold your feet. You may have your hands in front of your feet. Really, it's not about what it looks like from the outside. It's about what it feels like from the inside. Is what you're doing truly a benefit for you? Yoga helps us to connect with ourselves. Bring yourselves all the way up. Roll the shoulders back and roll them forward, bouncing to the legs. Swing your legs behind. Come onto your hands and knees. And just establish your foundation. Get your knees under your hips. Send the hips right, send them left. Notice how many of the toes are rooted to the floor if your head's hanging, because I know some of you hang those heavy heads. And then pause back at the center. So see if you could move the hands a little bit closer to the thighs. Shoulders, elbows, wrists still in line. And to build a little bit of wrist strength, would you be able to push up onto those 8 fingers, lift the thumb off the floor, and then lower the heels of the hands back down, pressing up. Don't take the weight off your toes. I see a lot of you lift your feet. Well, I don't really see you, but you know, and then lower the hands down. But I know you well enough from classes that I know what you're up to. Lift and lower. Now you may find that you could move the hands out a little farther. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. So now your weight is even on both hands. Now the 10 toes tuck. The knees are below the hips and the knees lift. Breathing here, the natural curve of your spine, which includes your neck. Good, keep holding, I know you can. Knees come down. Knees lift, the eyes of the elbows are slightly in, shoulders are moving apart and down. Last time, lift the knees, lift the knees, lift the knees. You can leave this out or lift your right foot off the floor. Put the right foot down, pause, squeeze your inner thighs like you had a block there, and then lift the other foot off the floor. Try to keep the hips even, try not to hang the head. Put the foot down, put the knees down, tops of the feet come to the floor. Open your knees wide, almost as wide as your mat. Point your big toes towards each other. Keep your palms flat and send your hips back to your heels. Go up on spider fingertips. Remember your options if your knees are bothering you. You can put padding under the knees, blankets under the knees. Turn your head, look over your right shoulder. That little bit of a lift of the pelvic floor. So the tailbone tucks under. There's no strain in the low back. Gaze between the hands and then look back over the other shoulder. Good, bring your head back to the center. Place your palms flat. Come up. Slide your knees back below your hips. Tuck your 10 toes. Your option here is to keep the tops of the feet on the floor and go back to child's pose, or tuck the toes, send your hips back to your heels, and lift your knees up off the floor. Come back, knees down, back to tabletop. Move your hands slightly wider apart. Remember, if you do the same thing over and over again the same way, you don't create change as easily, either mentally or physically. So trying some new things is a great thing to do. Knees down, back tabletop. Bottom back, knees up, hips up and back, downward dog. 10 fingers lift off the floor. 10 fingers down, heels lift off the floor, feet move wider apart. Breathe here. Remember your option, you can be in child's pose. If you like, roll to the balls of the left foot, bend the right knee, take that right leg in front, take the left leg in front, tuck the toes, bend both knees. Bring the left toes back, press the hips up and back. Other side, right heel lifts, bring it over across in front, tuck the 5 toes, bend both knees. Bring the right toes back, send the hips up and back. Bring your knees to the mat, tops of the feet to the floor, bottom goes back to heels, come to your elbows, hold the head in the hands, or stack your fists, rest your head on your fists, especially if you feel dizzy at all. or if there's any blood pressure issues, or for some of you, reach back, rest the forehead or the crown of the head on the ground and breathe. And then curl yourself all the way up. Roll your shoulders back. Now, as we come down onto our bellies, if you have one of these foam blocks, you may want to use it. You can also use a Kleenex box, or you can just leave it out. You don't need to have one. If you do have the block or the Kleenex box, just put it there in front of you. Go to a tabletop position, tops of the feet on the floor, bend the elbows, lower your torso forward. Good, so you're kind of in this slant board, and then press back. And this time, lower yourself all the way down to your belly. And if that doesn't work, just plop and drop down there. Put one hand on top of the other, bend your knees, and just let your legs go a little bit from side to side. Just notice how it feels to be on your belly now as opposed to, seated, standing. Just notice. Bring the legs down. And now bring yourself up onto your elbows. So many of you know this is Sphinx position. Your shoulders, your elbows are in line, and then your wrists line up with your elbows. So your hands aren't too close together or too far apart. If you do have this block, you may want to take the block and place it right between the elbows. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Tops of the feet are on the floor, and your legs are about hip-width apart. Now it's as though your hands pull back towards your elbows draw back towards your hips, and your hips move forward towards your elbows, creating this gentle back bend. The elbows press lightly into the block, and the shoulders move apart. All 10 of the toes are on the ground. And you're breathing. Back bends come from strong legs. So if it feels like you're doing this, that's probably what you're doing. Keep the body fully engaged. Be aware of the space you're creating between the vertebra. And think about lightly squeezing the shoulder blades. There's not a lot of movement there. Good. And then release. Take the block if you have it. Slide it out of the way, put one hand on top of the other, rest your head on the hands. Let the knees bend and let them rock. If that doesn't feel good, just drop the feet, turn the heels out. And if there's something else that would feel better, then that's what you should do. Bring yourself back up into this position. So we can repeat it exactly the same way we did. Shoulders, elbows in line with the wrists, fingers spread, and you start this movement of torso moves forward, breathing. Now, if you want to go one next step, you straighten the arms, holding the blocks between the elbows. Breathe here, shoulders soft, neck long, eyeballs roll up. You slowly, arms coming up, weight even on all the toes. Depending on how you feel, you can turn your head right. Make sure you're breathing. Bring it back to the center. Turn your head left. Bring it back to the center. Lower the elbows down. Keep the body working. The tendency is just to stop. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, bring yourself down onto your belly. If you did turn your head last time, turn it the opposite way. The pause before you move is so important. Listen to how your body feels and then move it the appropriate way. So maybe it's bending the knees. For some of you, it'll be pressing to child's pose. Good, and then take the legs down. Come back up on your elbows. So to repeat something 3 times, the first time is the time of discovery. We're thinking, I don't know what's going on. The second time we think, all right, I understand it. I'm remembering to breathe. And the third time is when the magic happens and we create that union, which is what yoga means, the body, the mind, and the breath. So set the foundation, anything that's on the floor, rise up, open the chest. You can tell I'm breathing because I'm talking to you. It's important that you are breathing in your homes. Good. Stay there or bring yourself up. Think about all 10 of the toes rooted, the hip bones moving down, creating that space, breathing. The areas where there might be some tightness, take your breath into those spots and feel the sensations. If it's pain, you need to question why you remain there. Slowly lower yourself down, torso's moving forward, and then slowly coil yourself back down. Remember to alternate what hand is on top. Alternate turning the head or just resting the center of the forehead on the hands. Do what you need to do within your legs. Lower the legs down. Slide the hands back under the shoulders. Press up onto your hands and knees. And take a moment here just to reset your foundation. Again, whatever's on the ground. And as you exhale, tuck the tail, squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals. Really feel the upper back rounding, chins to chest. And while you're looking back, if you can see your feet, your legs are probably not parallel. Now lift the tail, expand the belly, lift the chest, lightly drawing shoulder blades towards each other. One more time, tail tucks, belly to spine, chin to chest. Tuck your 10 toes. In this hollow belly position, send the hips back. You can stay here or lift to downward dog and walk out this downward dog. Breathing. Breathing. From child's pose or downward dog, find your way into a standing full fold or half fold. So if it's back hamstrings or you've got any blood pressure issues, perhaps a half fold is what you need today. Might not be what you needed yesterday, but it's a new day. Shoulders draw down. You may prefer holding your elbows, rocking a bit. Give yourself what you need. Rediscover this new foundation, which is your feet. How do you use them? And then release your arms. Walk your hands up your legs. Let the head be the last thing to come up. Roll your shoulders up. Roll them back and roll them down. Lift the arms shoulder height. Bring the hands to the thighs. Roll or walk yourself halfway or all the way forward. And then walk your hands back up your legs. So if this is what feels the best for you, that's what you should do. Otherwise, take the arms out to the side, lift the arms up, lift the gaze. Lower the arms, send the hips back, fold the body forward. Lift the arms out to a T, come all the way up. Look up, shoulders soften, and then open the arms, hips back, fold forward, breathing. Coming up, inhale, right from the very arches of your feet, all the way back down, all the way or halfway. Be mindful, how are you feeling? And last time, coming all the way up, shoulders soft, arms down. Good, go back and forth from the toes to the heels a few times without sticking the bottom or thrusting the pelvis. Come all the way up on the balls of the feet, one hand on the belly, one hand on the low back, just two hands, and walk the other way. Stay way up on the balls of the feet if you can, and imagine if you had that block between your inner upper thighs. Good, lower the legs down, put your hands on your hips, feet together, and then step out wide. So roughly about one of your leg lengths. So not to this point where you're in your flexibility with no strength, but at this place where you have both strength and flexibility. Your hips are even. Turn your right foot out. Doesn't matter which foot, just turn a foot out and extend the arms parallel to the floor. Draw your legs towards each other so you feel yourself get strong. Your back foot's at 90 degrees or turned in slightly. Extend over that front leg, lower the right arm, lift the left. If your shoulders hurt, make sure you keep your hands on your hips. Gaze is straight ahead. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Connect top and bottom half right here at the core. Now bring yourself up so that the arms are parallel to the floor and bend that front knee. So the knee comes above the heel, which might mean you need to adjust your foundation. The legs draw towards each other as you straighten and you tip, breathing. In Trikonasana, we're trying to lengthen the top and bottom half equally, opening the shoulders, unlock that front knee. Use your legs to bring you up. Bend the knee, breathing, breathing, breathing. Straighten, draw the legs towards each other, coming over. Open, torso rotates slightly around the spine, no strain in the neck. Coming back up. Bend as though you're drawing the legs in towards each other. Reach through the fingers if the shoulders hurt, hands to hips. Remember your option. Coming up, lift the 10 toes, extend, open the arms, open the chest. Make sure you're connected at the center. Now this time the top arm lowers parallel to the floor, comes down. If your hands don't reach the floor, put your hands on blocks if you have them. The back foot turns in, hips square, and you breathe here. Torso's parallel to the floor. You walk your hands in. This right foot turns, all 10 toes point straight ahead. Again, the block can be under the hand, or you can have 2 blocks, or you can bend the knees, rest the elbows on the thighs. Head's not hanging. From here, you can extend the arms out to the T position and come up, or bend the knees, put the palms on the thighs, and come up. Now the left foot turns out. Hips square, so readjust your foundation. That back foot can be at 90 or turned in. And you extend, unlock that left leg, left arm down, right arm up, gaze straight ahead, connect at the core. Pick your 10 toes up, be strong. Legs bring you up, knee bend. So remember, you may need to scooch that front foot forward. Arms are even, so you can see my shoulders were up. Keep your breath. Good. Straighten without locking. Extend. Hands can come to hips if that's better. Or this top arm can support the neck if you're feeling strain in the neck. Reach through the fingers. Use as much strength as you can. It's not just about flexibility. Bring yourself back up. Bend the knee. I'm counting on you guys to count because I know that there's some of you who always count for me. I never keep track of how many I've done, or I never remember is the honest truth. Good, and back. I think we have about 10 more. Just kidding. Breathe. Open, unlock that knee, pick those 10 toes up, get the arch of the back foot working. Back up. Bend, strong legs. Keep your breath. Straighten without locking. Extend. Arm, other arm, reach. This top arm starts to come down. Torso rotates. Adjust your foundation if you need to. Both legs straight. Breath is strong. Hand comes back inside. Walk yourself, so you need to pick the toes up on that foot. Turn the toes forward. Again, pause halfway. If it is better to have the elbows on the knees, then that's what you should do. Keep your breathing. If you need to have palms on thighs to come up, do that. Otherwise, arms out and up. Arms come up or hands to hips. Bring the heels in, toes in, heels in, toes, heels, toes. Feet are hip width apart and bend to the right. If it is better for you to have hands on hips, by all means, come all the way up, dropping the shoulders, and go the other way. Really rise up, rise up. Bring yourself back to the center. Lower the thumbs back down to the center of the chest. Shift your weight to the right foot and lift your left heel. If this is enough, stay here. Otherwise, turn out. Snug the heel just above that right ankle. Breathe here. Pick the foot up off the floor. Try not to send that right hip to the right. Rise up. You can slide the leg up a bit higher if you like. Try not to push all your might on your knee. Don't tell me your pants are too slippery. You need to do the engagement here, right at the center of the body, at the core. Keep your breath. Thumbs might lift or arms might lift. Shoulders drop. Press into the fingertips, into that Hakini Mudra for your memory. Bring the palms back together. Breathe, slide the leg down, toes down, knee forward, bend the other knee, put the foot down, and send the hips back. Now, at this point, some of you may need to move the knees and feet farther apart as you come into this chair position where you can rest comfortably. Keep breathing, pick your 10 toes up. Good, come back up to a nice straight spine. Reestablish your foundation. You can always use the walls. Weight shifts to the left, lift the right. And if you send your hip out, try to engage here, the heart, the center, the core of the body. Rotate the hip in its socket as you move out. Pick the foot up. Maybe, your happy place is with the toes on the floor. Then that's where you should be. There was a time a few months ago where I was having hip problems and I couldn't even turn my hip out. So, we get comfortable with what we have and then all of a sudden we don't have it. And that is why we do yoga over and over and over, because it prepares us for these things that life throws at us sometimes, as we're all learning right now. Keep breathing. Hands come back down. Pause. Slide the leg down, but rise up. Toes down. Knee forward. Heel down. Bend. Send those hips back into that chair. Adjust your feet according to what you need. Breathe. Breathe. Go a little farther if you can. Stay halfway or place the hands on the floor and go into a full forward fold. Keep your breath. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can go onto your hands and knees and get there from that position. Otherwise, keep your left foot where it is. Stretch your right leg back. Keep the toes tucked and bring the knee to the floor. Come up, place your hands on your hips. If you need something under the knee, by all means. So front knee above front heel. So reestablish your foundation. Groin drops, pelvic floor lifts. It's front hip back, back thigh forward. Hands can remain on the hips or bring your arms forward. Lean forward, front hip back, back thigh forward. Bring the arms up, shoulder height. Open the arms, shoulder height, palms parallel to the floor. You can come back and repeat that 2 or 3 more times, or you come forward, knee lifts, arms open. Come up, knee bends, but knee doesn't go to the floor. Open, leg straightens. Don't let the bottom go up in the air. Bend, keep the knee off the floor. Last time, forward. And here, bending, knee comes down, lean forward, lift that right knee up and step into a full fold, or just get to that full fold, however it feels best for you. Go back and forth, toes to heels, and either walk the hands up the legs or take the arms out and come all the way up. Lower the arms down, coming up as you breathe in, folding all the way forward or halfway. If you're halfway, go onto your hands and knees to tabletop. Otherwise, keep the right foot where it is. Step the left leg back, keep the toes tucked if possible, put the knee on the ground. Come up, put the hands on the hips and establish your foundation, knee above heel. Good breathing. Arms up, open as you lean. So front hip back, back thigh forward. Come back up, front hip back, back thigh forward. Use the strength of the legs. Forward. And up. Repeat that 3 more times. Or this time you come forward, straighten the back leg, don't stick the bottom in the air. And then bend the back knee, don't put it on the floor. Lean open, breathe. Come up, bend, try not to put the knee on the floor, front hip back, back thigh forward. Forward, breathing. Bending, coming up. Knee goes down. Lean forward, lift the knee, step forward, breathing. Breathing. And then either walk the hands up the legs or come all the way up. Lower the arms down, pause. Take a breath or two here. Hands to hips or arms up. Bending to the right. Coming all the way back up. Over to the other side. All the way back up. Add a gentle back bend, hands to hips, glutes, thighs, whatever you need, or arms up if that's better. All the way back to standing, lower the arms, bend the knees, send the hips back. Pause and breathe. All the way forward or halfway, you know you. If not, it's the time to discover you. Keep breathing. Step back, downward dog. If that's not good, remember your options. Tabletop, child's pose if you prefer. Now take the left foot, turn it slightly to the left, bend the right knee, and pause here. Now step the right foot forward between the hands, knee above heel, come up, hands to hips, or arms all the way up, looking up. Coming all the way back down, pause, step back, downward dog, walk it out. Remember your options, tabletop to child's pose. Right foot pivots, left heel lifts, pause, left knee bends. Left foot comes forward between the hands, pause, knee above heel. Coming up, hands to hips, or arms all the way up, front hip back, back thigh forward, breathe. Coming all the way forward, pause. Step back, downward dog, walk it out. Lifting the heels, bringing the knees to the ground, tops of the feet to floor, bottom back to heels, sliding fists under the head or hands back to feet. Knees open wider if you like, patting under the knees, patting on the calves. Rock bottom from side to side. Take a moment to reconnect. Have you been practicing non-harming and kindness to yourself? And then slowly, slowly bring yourself back up. And it's hard to extend our kindness out into the world if we don't really learn how to be kind and take care of ourselves first. Sometimes we think of that as being selfish, but really it's time that you need to take. Bring yourself back onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Now, if you know a squat is not happening for you today, just sit down however you like. Otherwise, come up, pause in the squat position. Perhaps it even means bringing your palms to your thighs. And then see if you could go toes, heels, bottom, heels forward. Draw, lift the hips, which means you might need to actually pick them up and move them back and come into that forward fold. That's good for you today. Draw those shoulders right out of the ears. Might be the full fold. Truly, it's what you need. Perhaps at the beginning of the class, your legs were straight, but at the end of the class, your knees need to bend. And then bring yourself up. Roll your shoulders back. Stretch the legs out, bounce into the knees. Pause in this Dandasana or staff position. Remember, it's a strong position. You're not just here collapsed. Legs are strong. Sternum lifts, chin drops down. Good, look up. Walk yourself forward on your mat so that you do have enough mat to come down onto your back. Bend the knees. Now, if you have tailbone problems or low back problems, you should just come down the way that feels best for you. Feet on the floor, or you can have the heels on the floor, what feels better. And sit up tall. Start to squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals a bit, and curl, 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 curl. Pause, and use the strength of the legs to bring you up. Curl, curl, curl. You're breathing. You're not feeling strain in the back. And if you are, then you need to wonder, why do you keep doing this? And all the way back up, 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 up. This time, lean. Good, lift. Coming all the way back down onto the mat now. Once you're all the way down, pause. Move your feet to where you need to. Readjust your neck. So if you do need a little bit of support under the neck, by all means. Let the knees rock a bit from side to side. Move your feet farther apart, perhaps. Remember, if you need props at all, you can use the bolsters, you can use blocks. Use what benefits you. Don't shy away from the use of props. They help bring us into alignment. They help us find ease in the body. And when we can find ease, we can work with our greatest strengths. Pause back at the center. Bring your feet a little closer together. Lift your feet off the floor. Interlace your fingers around your shins and just rock a little bit from side to side. And place your hands on your knees and do some circles, moving the thighs away, just through the hips, through the low back. Keep that natural curve of the neck, and then reverse, go the other way. Once you feel like you've gone the same in both directions, make yourself just as tiny as you can, whether it's holding elbows or feet. Head can come up if you like. Keep breathing, draw those shoulders down. Good, bring your head down. Open your arms to a T-like position. Today, try to have the palms up with all 10 fingers on the ground. Drop your knees over to the right. Right hand can come up to that top knee. Head can turn left if you like, but it can also turn right or stay at the center. That back arm can bend. It can go higher or lower. Give yourself a breath or two. Lower that right hand back down. Bring the knees back to the center and just pause. And then drop to the other side. Left hand up to that right knee. Turn the head where it's most beneficial. Keep your breath. Sometimes I'll even just take my hand and rest it on my forehead. You know where you need it for your benefit. There's days where I need to put my hand on the side body. Release that left hand back. Bring the thighs into the chest. Once more, make yourself as tiny as you can, whatever that is for you. Lower the head down. Put your left foot on the floor. Snug that right thigh into the chest. And this may be as far as you want to go. Otherwise, hold the back of the right thigh. Point the right foot sole to the ceiling. Reach up, right hand to the outside of right foot. Slide that knee over into the armpit. Pause here. Don't let that left glute lift. Keep it on the ground. And then release, snug it back. Place the right foot on the floor, left thigh into the chest. Release, shoulders draw down. If this is perfect for you, stay there. If you can hold the back of the thigh, do that. Foot sole faces the ceiling, perhaps holding the outside of the foot, bending the elbow, bringing the knee into the armpit. So this is where you don't want that right glute to lift. Keep the weight even. Thigh back into the chest. Right thigh up, both legs up. Press. This might be just where you need to be. Or you may walk the hands up the legs, press legs into hands, hands into legs. Breathe. Some of you may grab the toes, press the thighs away, drop the shoulders. Torso comes down. Legs either go straight down, or if your back hurts, bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, lower the arms. Take a really big deep breath in, tighten everything up. And a big long, loud letting go exhale. Do that one more time. Big deep breath in, tighten everything up. Big, long, loud letting go exhalation. Give yourself any last movements that you need to prepare yourself for Shavasana. Shavasana can be with the knees bent. Shavasana can be with the bolster under the knees, legs up the wall. Or there's some days where maybe you need to sit up. But find that place where you can bring the body back to ease, where you can begin to soften the mind. Connect with your breath. I inhale peace. I exhale to release. The warmth of relaxation moves slowly and gently within me. Tensions melt away. The only expectations there are those that you put on yourself. Breathe in and breathe out. Visualize the white light of peace that shines brightly around you and deeply within you at heart center. Try to let your mind rest within that beautiful white light of peace, knowing that everything you need is already right there inside you. I welcome you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you might need today, remembering the importance of giving yourself this time to replenish and nurture body, mind, and spirit. If you are ready to come back to a seated position, find your way slowly back to a seated position. The light in me bows to the light in you. Thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste. Have a great day. Drink lots of water and enjoy the sunshine. See you next time.